We're going to start. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Burnsville High School Hall of Fame ceremony. My name is Karen Ruth, and I'm a 2016 Burnsville High School inductee. But tonight, we recognize these wonderful new inductees for all of their dedication and achievements. Before we start, we would like to recognize our sponsors, because without them, we would not have this wonderful ceremony tonight. So just take a few seconds and look at all those wonderful people that helped us with their contributions. Thank you for that. All right, so the purpose of the Burnsville Senior High School Hall of Fame is to recognize individuals or organizations that have made exceptional achievements in their field, significant contributions to Burnsville High School, and/or unique contributions in their community on a local, state, national, or international level. The selection of these individuals is intended to recognize and encourage a tradition of excellence, achievement, hard work, and commitment with the dedication that they acquired at Burnsville Senior High School. The Burnsville High School Hall of Fame honorees serve as examples of the quality education Burnsville High School has provided over the years. Honorees act as role models for current students and staff to achieve success. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with our first inductee, which is Dan Beckman. And to make the presentation for Dan, we're going to ask Tara Cormacan to introduce Dan. So come on up, Tara.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tara Ryder-Cormacan, and I am a longtime friend, former neighbor, and fellow 2007 BHS alum of Dan Beckman. I had the privilege of acting on this stage alongside Dan years ago, and being here is still a bit intimidating for me. But one person that these Mraz Center lights were never too bright for was Dan Beckman. It was 17 years ago this month that a young Dan Beckman donned a new perm and rode a live horse through these Mraz Center aisles singing "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning" as Curly in the musical Oklahoma. This was one of many incredible roles that Dan played on this very stage. After Dan graduated from Burnsville in 2007, he went to the University of Duluth and graduated with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Acting and a minor in Film Studies. Upon graduating college, Dan found a job on a cruise ship where he worked many years entertaining audiences all over the globe. And I do mean globe. Dan has performed on 6 of the 7 continents, and with only one remaining, Australia. That's right, Dan has even performed in Antarctica. Being on a cruise ship for so long was the inspiration for Dan to find ways to pass the time. And that was how his love for photography took off. Always looking to find the best shots, Dan has taken pictures all over the world that would rival anything you would see in a magazine. In 2018, Dan was approached with a job offer from Ms. Erin Dirth, the founder of Letters from Home, a traveling USO show. Letters from Home infuses the classic style of USO with a witty modern edge. It features high-energy singing plus tap dancing, and they perform all over the country. The show gives thanks to our military and often focuses on performing at retirement centers and veteran events. In 2023, Letters from Home set out on a 50-state tour, visiting all 50 states between January and May, and honoring veterans in every U.S. state. Wow. As they journeyed, Dan took pictures in each state and created a gallery. I'm excited to announce that the Letters from Home 50-State Photo Gallery will be coming to the Ames Theater here in Burnsville for 2 months starting on November 28th. When not on tour, Dan has a large impact in his North Carolina community, working with kids and young adults at the Spring Theater. Dan mentors, directs, and teaches theater camps, leaving a lifelong impact on many lives. Unfortunately, Dan is not able to be here in person tonight. He actually just got married 6 days ago. Those who attended the wedding witnessed the most creative wedding ceremony ever. No exaggeration. And who did he get married to? You may remember me mentioning her earlier. The Love of His Life, and Letters from Home creator Aaron Dirth. Now, here is a quick video message from the one and only Dan Beckman. Thank you.
Hey everybody! Sorry I couldn't be there with you tonight. I'm stuck here just totally swamped doing important work for NASA. I tried to take the time off and I spoke to my supervisor, Neil Armstrong. And he said, "We don't take vacation days here at NASA." So, my hands are tied. But listen, I just wanted to say thank you for this honor. I'm humbled that anyone would think that I'm worthy of being inducted into the Burnsville High School Hall of Fame. You know, I can viscerally remember being in the hallways at BHS between classes or after evening performances and just looking at these rows of photos of former graduates who had been admitted into the Hall of Fame. I remember wondering what great things they must have done. I remember looking at photos of students from the class of 1985 and wondering where they were and what they were doing and thinking how old they must be now. And I think back on that, and it's surreal to think that tomorrow's students might be looking up at my picture, the class of 2007, and wondering where I am and what I'm doing and thinking how old I must be now. Listen, I'm not certain I deserve the honor of induction this evening, but I do know that I'm truly moved by your notion of including me. BHS offered me some of the greatest memories and experiences of my lifetime, and the faculty and the students there helped to make me who I am today, and for that I'm forever grateful. And congratulations to my fellow inductees, and thank you to the board for this honor. It means a great deal to me, and I will remember it always. So tonight, please enjoy treading the boards of the Mraz Center stage as I once did, and when you take the field, just feel free to bask in the lights of the rink at intermission between the innings of the Burnsville Blaze homecoming football competition. That terminology may not be right. I wasn't banned. Good night, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Okay, what we do here now is each one of the inductees is going to get their beautiful plaque put on the wall here at the on the Hall of Fame wall. And then we have wonderful certificates that look just like this that they get to take home with them. So I'm going to give this to you so you can pass the torch. Thank you. And we'll leave time at the end for pictures. So our next wonderful inductee is Rosalind Cirksena, and she will be introduced by her brother, the Reverend Dr. Randy Cirksena.
There's a line in the movie Rudy, and there's a point at which he's invited into enter into the contest or the game, and he says, "I've been ready for this my whole life." And I, as a little brother, a younger brother, have the privilege of sharing with each one of you about my sister Rosalind. And I've been ready for this my whole life. And the nice thing is I get to stand up here and I get to speak and she can't say anything to me. My sister Rosalind is one of the most amazing people that God ever created. Born in a time when having cerebral palsy and having problems with her eyesight and not being able to hear very well, which I'll inform you is very selective when she wants it to be. And I will tell you also, don't be fooled by her. She's excellent at reading lips. Rosalind was mainstreamed, as it was referred to, I believe, appropriately, when Rosalind was supposed to be in 4th grade. Prior to that time, Rosalind had attended the Savage Elementary School, and we were blessed as a family to have Mr. Tim Wenzel, who I believe started the Wenzel Plumbing and Heating Company, but on the side drove the short yellow bus that used to come to our home and pick Rosalind up for school. We knew from the very start that Rosalind was a determined person. There's an ancient story of a mother who had a daughter who was ailing and wanted some healing for her daughter. And wherever she went, she refused to accept the answer no. And she pursued until she got what she wanted. That is emblematic of my sister Rosalind. She does not know the word no when it comes to putting herself to something. Now, I have to be quite honest with you. My mom and dad, Georgia and Randy, are here today. And if it wasn't for them, Rosalind wouldn't be here. I don't mean just because they loved each other and produced a beautiful child. They made sure that Rosalind understood that there were no favors in the world, and that if she was going to make something of herself, she was going to be treated just the same as the rest of us, and her sister and her brother. When I asked Rosalind about nominating her, because I had already nominated her, she asked me, why would they want me in a Hall of Fame? And the reality is that Rosalind set an example for our family and for our friends and our loved ones. There's an image in my mind of when we were growing up. Most of us can ride a bicycle. Is there anyone here that has not been able to ride a bicycle? Well, then I think, Rosalind, you're still the only one that has not ridden a bicycle, except for the help of my parents and my sister and I trying to teach her, which we never could. But Rosalind persevered. And Rosalind, I can tell you, in junior high was an amazing example to me, because my younger sister Rhonda and I were told by our parents that we couldn't fight, but if anyone was picking on Rosalind, or my little sister Rhonda, who could hold her own, by the way, against anyone, we were to step in and help out. Now, they didn't say be violent or anything like that. They said stick up for her. And I can't tell you how many times in junior high my sister Rosalind was surrounded by a gang of kids, chastising her, making fun of her, mocking her, and calling her names. And when we would talk about it, when it was done, her response usually was, they just don't know me yet. They don't know me. And I would invite each and every one of you, if you have some time someday, to get to know my sister. My sister Rosalind is certainly one of those people that has never said no, and she had a wonderful career at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota. And Rosalind, it's time for you to come up now. Now, I will tell you something. She does not like public speaking. So she's asked me if I would be her mouthpiece. So I'm going to, and then we're going to let her finish. Rosalind wanted me to share with you. I want to first thank my parents, Georgia and Randy Cirksina. Your patience, kindness, and always giving and helping, and your tough love has inspired me my whole life. You both have inspired me. Thank you for demanding my best always. I could not have become who I am without your unyielding support. Rosalind also wanted, and I'm not sure where Fran is, Fran Wallen. Fran Wallen, everybody, was Rosalind's guardian angel when she came to the high school and helped Rosalind get through high school. And for that, we are forever indebted to you, Fran. Thank you so much. Rosalind wanted me to continue by saying, I want to thank everyone who has ever supported me and all the other educational trailblazers like Rosalind who have come through School District 191, who have also tried to do their best and to fit in and excel. When I asked Rosalind what the honor would mean to her, she said, you know, all my life, all I wanted to do was to be normal and to be thought of as normal, like you and Rhonda. Well, the nice thing is, Rosalind turned out way better than Rhonda and I ever thought of. Rosalind ends by saying, I want to thank the Burnsville High School Hall of Fame Committee. Your kind recognition is very humbling, and I hope by your selecting me that there is a young boy and a young girl in School District 191 who will not give up, but try as hard as they can, doing the best that they can along the way, and do things they could never have imagined, like Rosalind has. You want to say anything more, sis?
Thank you, everyone, for this really lovely Trailblazer Award. Thank you, everyone. That's all I wanted to say.
You did good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Randy, thank you for sharing your sister with us. That was beautiful. Okay, next. I see you sniveling over there. I am too. All right. We have Pat Feely, and we're going to have Allie Marie Rausch do some words for Pat before he comes up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Allie Moram Rausch, proud 2005 Burnsville graduate, and I had the pleasure of being one of Mr. Feely's former athletes. On behalf of the softball community, female athletes in Burnsville High School, and one of Mr. Feely's biggest fans, it was with great pleasure that I get to share some of his greatest accomplishments with all of you this evening. He has spent 52 years coaching and developing student athletes. 27 of those were devoted to Burnsville High School. In girls tennis, softball, and basketball. As head coach of BHS girls softball, he won 6 conference championships, 3 section championships, and 2 state championships. His teams were ranked statewide in the top 10 for the 13 years he was head coach. In 2007, he was recognized for his accomplishments by District 191, and the BHS softball field was renamed Pat Feely Fields in his honor. In 2014, he retired, finally, as head coach of BHS girls softball team as the most winning girls softball coach in history at BHS. In addition to these great accomplishments, his influence and achievements extended beyond Burnsville High School. He was voted best athlete in his senior class at St. Thomas Military Academy and graduated with honors. He earned 10 athletic letters in football, baseball, and basketball at St. Thomas College. He was inducted into the St. Thomas Military Academy Hall of Fame in 1982 through 1997. He was principal for Minneapolis Public Schools, assigned to Franklin Junior High School and North High in North Minneapolis. He served in the U.S. military. He's a prostate cancer survivor. In 2020, he wrote and published his first book, named Heart is Everything. Alongside his late wife of 50 years, Sue, AKA Mama Feely, he raised 3 beautiful children, Molly, Todd, and Krista, who lead by example with great character and a heart bent towards service. Mr. Feely coached and influenced with passion and integrity, instilling hard work and responsibility in each of his players. We won, we fought hard, we demonstrated good sportsmanship, but we also had some fun along the way. Like the time we played a joke on Mr. Feely before the section championship and told him that his star athlete was out for the season because she got hurt. I believe Coach Hillary and Coach Kate, who are in the audience, had to escort Mr. Feely to the bathroom because he was so upset and became ill. I guess he didn't think we were very funny, but a locker room full of high school girls couldn't stop giggling. We ended up telling him it was a joke, but let me tell you, practice those next couple of days was awfully stiff. I'm not sure he has ever forgiven us for that, and Coach Hillary and Coach Kate encourage us to never bring it up and never do anything like that again. But that year, we went on to win our first state championship, so we moved on to celebrate bigger and better things. Mr. Feely, I have to bring it up before I hand the mic over to you. Have you forgiven us? Have you forgiven us? No. I didn't think so. Without further ado, I could not think of a more fitting award to recognize Mr. Feely for his time and dedication to Burnsville High School. May I present to you Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Pat Feely. We did it, Mr. Feely.
Good afternoon. I also have a couple thanks to make. I'd like to thank the audience for being here on this wonderful sunny afternoon, October 13th. I also would like to thank the committee for selecting me for the Hall of Fame this year. And I'd like to thank Allie for her wonderful introduction. When I look at and participate today at this event, I do it with eyes wide open because I'm sure we all know and all realize, but it's very surprising until you see it, that this event doesn't happen all by itself. It's not a miracle. It's not magic. It happens from many people like Allie, who has her own family, president of Amazon. I'm kidding. But she does work for Amazon. And raising her children with a wonderful husband. And there are many people here doing the same thing, spending a great deal of time making this event take place. Why is that? Well, I think it's because, one, they have a love for the school. And two, they have a love for many of the staff people that work here and were students here at this school. It would be remiss for me to stand up here in my 3 minutes time and name all the people during my 52 years of coaching, 27 at Burnsville High School. Name all the people that stood by my side and were in my corner and supporting me for that length of time. I couldn't do it. Too many people. Heck, I have a hard time getting up in the morning, sitting on the edge of the bed, and remembering my own name. Anyway, there is one person that I am going to mention by name, and her name is Sue Feely, who was my wife for many years. And she was with me side by side every single year that I coached, which was 52 total years, 27 here in Burnsville. And she would, and Allie's right, she said the girls nicknamed her Ma Feely because she made brownies for the girls to eat after every game was over. She also kept me humble during the years that we had good winning years, and she also, when we had lean years, kept me in line and pushed me harder to work harder. So that being said, I would like to dedicate this honor that I'm receiving tonight to my wife, Sue. I definitely would not be standing up here if it weren't for the sport that she gave me for all 52 years that I coached. Amen to that, and I thank you.
Pat, before I hand over the hardware, I'd like to see a show of hands of all of Pat's fans in the audience. Yeah, look at all those people that just love you to death. Yeah, treasure that for a few minutes before we wrench it out of your hands. Okay, next up. All right, it's my pleasure to announce that Jay Howard will be next, and announcing him is Chris York.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, fellow athletes, friends and family. Absolute privilege and honor for me to stand here before you today as we gather to celebrate the induction of an extraordinary individual into the Burnsville High School Hall of Fame. The person we are here to recognize tonight is not only a basketball legend, but also a remarkable friend, a loving husband, a devoted father of two, and the ultimate finisher of my alley-oops and pickup. Myself and others had the distinct pleasure of not only playing alongside Jay Howard, but also sharing his countless memories on and off the court. 100% on Earnestie's proof test, battling to see who can go the longest without getting an A-, Spunkmeyer cookies, no proof, all bets canceled, Frick-Sell to Howard combination. His journey began in 7th grade basketball, traveling basketball, when on the B team, with his rec specs on, he stepped up and stole the ball from me. I knew his talents were gonna have to be taken seriously that day forward. Summer going into 9th grade, he was the first of our peers to dunk. We were all in awe, but even more so the way he encouraged other big guys like Nathan Hennessy, Mark Mills, and Andy Plant to be next. In high school, Coach Bo allowed a few of us sophomores to make the varsity team, which was unheard of back in the day at a big school. Jake showcased his incredible talent and dedication to the game of basketball. He wasn't just a teammate, he was the driving force behind our team's success and the rise of basketball in Burnsville. From packed summer camps, training the littles like Ryan Amoroso, the current career leader in points, to packed standing room only home games, giving out signatures after games to kids, inspiring the next generation of future Burnsville Hall of Famers. Senior year, our team was ranked preseason number 2, and during the season, we were number 1 for most of the year. The growth of Burnsville basketball was because of Jay Howard and Coach Bo believing in us. This led to his name being etched in the Burnsville history books, graduating Burnsville as the all-time leading scorer, 2nd in rebounds, and 1st in blocks. Jay would go on to play at the University of Minnesota for the Gophers and later transfer to Augsburg University, where we met up with Nathan Hennessy and myself and played again. Jay's relentless work ethic, unwavering commitment, and leadership on the court made him a role model for aspiring athletes at our school. But Jay Howard's greatness extends far beyond the basketball court. His determination and resilience that he displayed on the court, he seamlessly transitioned into his personal life. His unwavering drive has allowed him to excel in the business world, and he serves as an inspiration to those who aim to achieve success in their careers. Excellence in his personal life is just as notable. He's a devoted husband, cherishing the love and support of his wonderful wife, Megan, a doting father to two amazing children, Ellie and Eli. Jay demonstrates how one can successfully juggle the responsibilities of a career and parenthood, all while maintaining strong family bonds. In Jay Howard, we find not just a great athlete, but a man who embodies the values and qualities that we hold dear here at Burnsville High School: commitment, leadership, perseverance, and above all, the importance to family and community. So please join me in extending our heartfelt congratulations to all the Burnsville Hall of Fame inductees this year, including my friend Jay Howard. Thank you all for joining us in this celebration of his achievements. Let us continue to be inspired by his legacy and the values he represents as we welcome him into the Burnsville High School Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Jay. Let's go, Blaze.
Wow. Chris York, the man. Thank you. Thank you. Chris, if y'all don't know, was the smallest kid on our basketball team. He was probably 145 pounds soaking wet, and he talked the most trash out of anyone in Burnsville High School history. And honestly, after that, I'm calling a little bit of an audible on my speech here. For those who know me, I'm not a big public speaker. If I ever do have to speak in public, I'm not big on writing down long speeches or anything like that. I try to freestyle a little bit. And Chris just reminded me of something very important. When Muriel had emailed me and let me know that I'm getting this honor tonight, she asked, "What does Burnsville High School mean to you?" Remember that? I thought about it, and after hearing Chris speak, for me, it's really about the relationships that I made here. When I was a kid in middle school and growing up, I was a gangly kid. I wore rec specs. You can see my family, they're wearing my old BAC buttons from BAC Sports because I couldn't make a traveling team back then. But I had this unwavering belief and confidence in myself that I think I got through the relationships that I had at Burnsville. And a lot of folks are here today. Chris was the best man at my wedding. I was the best man at his wedding. We have folks in the audience that our kids have grown up together. We've seen each other's families grow up together. And that's what I feel like it's all about, right? I feel like life is about the memories you make and the people you surround yourself with. And thank you, Chris, for reminding me of that. That was good. The other thing that I thought of when I thought of what Burnsville High means to me is really learning how to have and build confidence in yourself. I think that's very, very, very important. Some would say, us kids playing Burnsville basketball had a little too much confidence, bordering on cocky sometimes, right? But it's important. I remember in middle school, I was having trouble in class academically, and it's not because I wasn't, I didn't have the potential. I wasn't challenged enough. When I got to Burnsville High, Chris mentioned a proofs test. That was a class in sophomore year. Mr. Ernest, friend of the basketball program, he had a really tough honors geometry class, and he challenged me to really ask myself, what am I capable of? And that led me to excel academically, and really the relationships and things that I've learned through coaches, through my family who's here tonight, through teachers at Burnsville, I learned to have confidence in myself, and that's something that my beautiful wife, Megan, who's here tonight, we really instill that in our kids. My daughter Ellie's starting basketball. She had her first fourth grade traveling practice last week. Eli's getting into activities, and we really want to instill that in them, that they have to believe in themselves. They have to have confidence in themselves, and they really need to know that they can do anything that they put their mind to. So that's all I got, short and sweet, but thank you all very much for this great honor. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Cheryl Booker Jordan, and introducing her is Freddie Jordan.
Good evening, Burnsville High School family and friends. I am so excited. This is so great to introduce my wife, who is a 1982 high school graduate and the 2023 Burnsville High School Hall of Fame inductee. Cheryl Jordan not only graduated from Burnsville High School, she went on to attend McAllister College. We met at a nightclub in downtown Minneapolis that neither of us should have been in. But we were there. I was an engineering student at the University of Minnesota. She was a pre-law student at McAllister College. We met, and 40 years later, we're still married and happily married and living our best life. It was a match made in heaven. She eventually transferred to the University of Minnesota and pursued her education in criminal justice. I joined the United States Navy, and we started our career transferring from city to city. She continued her education and received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from St. Leo University. I received my master's in business administration from St. Leo University as well. I soon realized that after my wife wrote her first novel, Manipulation, Money, and Murder, that it was a story about a fictional a murder that happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I realized after she wrote her first novel that she had a gift, and that gift was writing. She continued to write several short stories and joined the writers group called Sister of Crime, where she's on the board of directors. She's currently working on 3 short stories, a novel series about a female truck driver who's delivering her loads on time and fighting crimes across the United States. What I like a lot, what you may not know about my beautiful wife, is that she has a beautiful heart. She's always giving, going out of her way to help other people. She volunteers for an organization that you may be familiar with called Stop the Hunger. She has several events through her workplace that she provides school supplies in various schools in Norfolk and Virginia Beach in Virginia. She volunteers for an organization called the Foundation of Faith that brings Christian leadership to the workplace to the workplace and for everyday life. I think the committee made a great decision in selecting my wife, Cheryl Jordan, as a 2023 Burnsville High School Hall of Fame inductee because she has a great heart, she loves her family, and she's a great writer. And I have confidence that her next novel is going to make the New York's top 10 bestseller list. So without further ado, here is the 2023 Burnsville High School Hall of Fame inductee, Cheryl Lynn Booker Jordan.
Wow. Good evening, everyone. It is such a pleasure and an honor to be here. I want to thank Randy Cirksena for nominating me. He reached out to me on Messenger and asked if he could purchase my novel and 2 of the anthologies that I'm in. And I said, sure. So we made arrangements and everything. I signed them and got them shipped off to him. And then in February this year, he said, Cheryl, I'm going to nominate you for the Burnsville High School Hall of Fame. And I was like, okay. I didn't know it existed, but okay, we'll do this. And it's just an honor, and I appreciate him. And I'm so thankful to Randy. Thank you. I give thanks to God because for giving me the talent and the desire to write. And I really believe that my talent for writing does come from God. He put people in my life who supports and helped me make my dreams come true with my writing. I've always loved to read. People would say I read excessively. Growing up, going on vacations, I would take 3 to 4 books with me for a week's vacation and try to read every one of them. And that's where I developed my love of writing, was from reading. I like the mystery aspects of writing. It just is something that fulfills me. And I think people enjoy my stories and reading them and coming to my book signings and so forth. I am so thankful to my parents, who unfortunately are both deceased now, for encouraging me and my brothers and sister to do the best that we can, and we could go far and do anything we wanted in life. And that was important, and that always stands out to me. Every time I sit down and write or get stuck, I'm like, okay, I'm stuck again. But I always think of their encouragement. I could hear them telling me, you got this, Cheryl. I also want to thank my husband, Freddie. He's always pushing me to write. He encouraged me to write my first novel and has been rooting me on ever since. He is so supportive and keeps me going when I feel too tired to write or when my creative juices just aren't flowing. He's just always encouraging me, say, take a break and then get back to it. I drag him to all of my book signings, and he never complains. He carries all my table, my chairs, helps me get set up. It could be scorching hot outside, or it could be freezing cold. For our outdoor events, he'll sit there and never complains and just always supports me. I also want to thank my son and his fiance and our daughter, because I have reached out to them, sent them the story to read. Hey, what do you think about this idea? It could be maybe late. They have a lot going on in their lives, but they never failed to just say, yeah, I want to read it. Yes, let me read it. And to give me criticism if need, not criticism, but critique. Maybe not like the story or maybe change it up a little bit, but they've been very, very instrumental in the support they've given me in my writing. I also want to thank my sister Sabrina Booker Holloway and my nieces and my nephew for their support, always thanking me for writing and encouraging me to keep writing and asking about my works and everything. And I just appreciate all of it. I thank you guys, and I thank you for coming out tonight to celebrate me being inducted. And most of all, I want to thank the committee for seeing me through this point to this point, and it's an honor to be inducted. And I thank everybody.
Cheryl, your next book might have to be a love story between you and your husband, because, wow, pretty impressive. There we go. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, our next inductee is Nicole Powell, and being introduced by her mother, Christine Hills. And you're going to see the resemblance, because I sure did.
Good evening, everybody. I have the pleasure of introducing my daughter, Nicole Powell. She's from the Burnsville High School class of 2008. I'm a member from 1985, so this brings me immense pleasure to be back on the same stage. She used to perform here as part of the chamber chorale. She must have made it look fun because her brother Alex followed in her footsteps. The first time she was ever actually on this stage was when she was a toddler, and they used to do a rendition of the Hallelujah Chorus at the end of the Christmas concerts. And we could come up as alumni and sing the Hallelujah Chorus, and I would carry my kids up here with me and make them sing with me. So, must have made it look fun because the kids stayed in and joined the choirs as they did. She outdid me because she made it into freestyle, and I did not. So I'm a little jealous, but that's okay. She did well with her classes. She was inducted into the National Honor Society. She was also a competitive figure skater with the Burnsville, Minnesota Valley Figure Skating Club. She taught learn-to-skate lessons at the Burnsville Ice Center. She performed for 10 years at the annual skate show. I think her first number was skated to Don't Worry, Be Happy. It was a really cute purple and pink ruffled dress that we put rhinestones on. Her final solo was to Isn't She Lovely? And that was in a sophisticated white dress covered with rhinestones. So it was much more expensive than her original dress. Her last ice show was her younger sister Emma's first ice show. So we had a continuous 20 years with the Burnsville, Minnesota Valley Figure Skating Club, which continues to this day. We're still part of the club. I would watch out if you ever see her on the ice because she can still do an axel. I think that her leading her younger sister into skating was much to the chagrin of my husband, her stepfather, because he was like, oh no, here's another 10 years on the ice. When it was time for her to go to college, she wanted to go away. She wanted to chase new adventures. The first college that accepted her was the University of Minnesota, Madison. She said, that's nice. I'm not going there. It's a party school. Joke's on them. She ultimately went there. She followed her cousin Matt's footsteps. She joined the Delta Gamma Society, sorority. She served as a philanthropy chair for HUMO, which is their executive board, which raises money for Camp Heartland. In her year, they raised a record amount of money. And then she ultimately served as the Penn Hill president, so she was in charge of monitoring the parties on campus. She was a member of the WASB, the Wisconsin Alumni Student Board, for 3 years. She was a Hansard Society Scholar at the London School of Economics, and while in England, she took advantage of the opportunity to meet friends and go to Wimbledon and the Royal Ascot, took a class in falconry, really made the most of it all, and then earned a double bachelor degree in poli-sci and policy and global economy. And then she was inducted into the Iron Cross Society, which I thought was a secret society, but apparently we are talking about it now, so it must not be so secret. She moved to California. After she graduated, she took a job with Intuit and worked with projects like Mint and TurboTax. And after 2 years, every group that she had worked with wanted her to sign a contract and stay. But she had saved up money and she wanted to travel. And so I, as the practical one, wanted her to sign a contract and say, I will be back at this date and I will start working back for Intuit. She said, I don't want to have an end date. She won. She set off, went to Iceland and Europe and Morocco, and eventually ended up in Southeast Asia. And as an entrepreneur, she was making money along the way by taking photographs of restaurants and setting up menus for them on like iPads so that they could show their food that they had available to the English tourists who didn't speak the local languages. I was convinced she was never coming home. She convinced me to come to Thailand. 2 weeks later, I came home from work one day and she was sitting on the couch. Ha, joke's on you, I knew I was coming home all the time. So she moved then back to California, worked for Modern Citizen as their first hire, and then became her most successful venture so far. I think there's probably more in you. She is the founder and CEO of Kinfield, which is, I think, my grandchild to date, a venture-backed brand. She does clean skincare and personal care that encourages you to get outside and enjoy the great outdoors. She launched the company in 2019, and it's been featured in the New York Times, in Vogue, Fast Company, Outside. You can buy it at the airport, at the stores there. It has a DEET-free bug repellent, mineral sunscreens, all the things that are good for you, good for the environment. But in January this year, she got to pitch her company on Shark Tank, and that was really fun. She made a joke about repelling the Minnesota state bird, and she got 4 offers, which I hadn't watched the show a lot, but 4 offers. What I'm most proud of her, though, is her grit. She is a solo founder in a world where less than 2% of venture capital funding goes to female founders. She's part of the 2% who have raised venture capital to support their mission. She has an all-female team. It's an anomaly in a male-dominated outdoor industry. She survived COVID, recessions, overnight bank shutdowns, if you remember that. Yeah, I called her, is that your bank? Oh, God. And she continues to build her company. She gives back a percentage of their sales to environmental nonprofits like Girl Ventures and the Golden Gate National Park Conservancy and Outdoor Afro. Everything she has done since being on the stage, since attending Burnsville High School, has led her towards her current role. And she continues to lead and inspire future leaders and women and responsible environmental stewards. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce Nicole Powell, inductee into the Burnsville High School Hall of Fame.
Thank you. I am going to keep this brief, not least because I asked my mother not to make me cry, and I'm going to do my very best to keep it together. But when I was told that I would be honored by being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I will admit that I was not initially sure that I was deserving of it. And as I reflected on not just what I think we've been able to contribute as a company and what we've been able to provide in the way of opportunities for our team and our community, but one of the things that I realized was that this honor is not about me, but rather it's about the village of people that enabled me to get here. And so I accept this on their behalf, but I wouldn't be here if it were not for my family encouraging me every step of the way. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Mom, for introducing me. And bearing with the variety of, shall we say, adventures that I've put them through over the course of many years. I think calling your parents and saying that you are quitting your stable job and starting a company is perhaps not their first idea of a good time. But I think 5 years in, they've come around, and it is truly an honor to call Burnsville home and be able to come back here. I think that there is a part of me that will always be here in Minnesota, despite having 10 years at this point in California, and I'm sorry, Mom, but I really do think it's gonna stick. But I have to say, I love, love, love coming home, and I so appreciate all of you welcoming me back with open arms and always making this such a space of support and kindness and encouragement. And for that, I thank you. Thank you for being the foundation and the village that got me to here today. So thank you, and congratulations to my fellow inductees as well.
All right, we saved the biggest group for last, and so we're now going to ask the 1980 football team, and Brian Rafferty and Tom Schaefer would come up to the podium to say a few words. That'd be great.
Karen, thank you for that introduction, and thanks to the selection committee for honoring our team by inducting us into this year's Hall of Fame. Winning a state championship isn't easy in any era. Without our coaches, we would never have achieved our title in 1980. As a football team, we were very fortunate to play for one of the most legendary staffs in the history of Minnesota high school football. We were led by Hall of Fame and head coach Dick Hansen, defensive coordinator Jay Anderson, assistant coaches Vic Berra, Bruce Nelson, Neil Jepson, Leon Lunder, and Bill Karras. This group of coaches worked incredibly well together and extremely effective. During Coach Hansen's 23 years as head coach, they won numerous conference titles and 5 state championships, including ours in 1980. Our success that season was a direct result of their unparalleled dedication and leadership. Values of teamwork, commitment, and the pursuit of excellence were emphasized at every team meeting, every practice, and every game. They found ways to motivate us, not by fear or intimidation, but encouragement. They gave us positive feedback and tailored instruction. If we did not live up to the potential they saw in us, Coach Hansen would simply say, "You're better than that. I know you're better than that." Not wanting to disappoint him or the other coaches was one of our biggest motivators. They cared about our growth as football players, but more importantly as young men. They took the time to teach us life lessons that we carried beyond the football field. And I know I speak for all the players here when I say that we are grateful for the positive influence they had on us at such a formative time in our lives. The night we won the state championship was a long time ago. I don't remember many of the details of the game, but I remember the end of the game. I remember walking off the field and seeing Coach Hansen and Coach Anderson standing side by side. There were smiles in their face, and there was that look in their eyes. We had made them proud that night, and that's what I remember all these years later.
Hello, my name's Tom Schaefer, and I just have kind of a fun fact list about our team. The 1979 Braves were a very talented, good team with a lot of upper-class talent, resulting in a loss of 9 offensive starters and 8 defensive starters. So the 1980 team was a very close and definitely a group comprised of the next man up mentality continued along with the Burnsville football tradition, so it really was a team effort. Seniors on the 1980 group, we actually had to hold practices on our own because there was a teacher strike our sophomore year, which really, I think, brought us together because we all played BAC football and CAA, I think was the other football program on the Egan side. So it was kind of a unique situation. We would hold Friday night after game meetings at Scott Ingalls' house, one of our captains, and it would help us stay together and keep focused and not go our separate ways. It was really a nice way to stay committed to winning our goal as a state champion. Early predictions on our team, or our year, we were going to finish probably 5-3 in conference play and probably be a pretty good team. But however, we won 2 two-point close wins over Jefferson early and Armstrong in our first playoff game. And we had 4 games all within 1-score wins. So both Edinas, back when Edina had 2 teams, and it was that momentum, I think, carried us to the state championship. We were throwing many curveballs as a team. We had injuries, key position players that were lost, weather, et cetera. And it was really kind of a united effort for us to all stay together and win. We had 3 Metro all-state players, Jeff O'Brien, Kevin Cook, and Pat Bodette. I don't think he's with us, but we wanted to mention you as being all Metro team players. So, also want to make mention, just want to thank a lot of people for getting us here, supported by our team, namely managers, classmates, and of course our parents. I want to make a special word of thanks to one of the parents, Bob Lattery, who was very instrumental in writing letters and nominating us to be part of the Hall of Fame, so thank you, Bob. Also, we did lose a member of our great team way too soon. His son, Gary Lattery, passed away this October 13th, 2013, exactly 10 years today, to the day. I was fortunate to grow up playing sports, BAC football and baseball with Gary, and we played together side by side on the offensive line on the championship team. We continue to be teammates even after high school and college, playing softball and even line mates again on our flag football team. He was a great athlete and a wonderful teammate, an infectious sense of humor. We all miss him and remember him for the contribution to this championship team, and what a great person and competitor he was on and off the field. We'll miss him greatly. All right.
I'd like to ask that all the team members please stand up, and we're going to give you your certificate.
Aren't real tickets? No, they don't have.
We'll give you a chance to have a picture with the plaque.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. 80.
Yeah, it's 8 wins in 1980. So they were undefeated in their conference and champions of their district. So what we'd like to do is recommend that if you do want to go on the field, at halftime to be recognized. We're going to all go down there together. I'm not really sure what time halftime will be. We'll get you an update on that, but in the meantime, you'll be able to mill about smartly in the lounge until it's time to go. But before we start with our closing thoughts, I do want to do a special shout out to our brand new principal. He's new to us at Burnsville High School since July. Jesus Sandoval, please stand up. He's just in the back. We are so happy to have you, stolen you from St. Cloud. Thank you. And now our closing thoughts will be from Superintendent Battle, and here she is.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Congratulations, inductees. Many times I describe myself as the very proud superintendent of Burnsville-Eagan-Savage District 191. Please know I'm proud because the legacy you have all heard about today, about these inductees, it continues with our current students today. They are wonderful students. They are committed, purposeful, accomplished, and they persevere, as evidenced by thriving in the pandemic. Not only surviving, but thriving. So thank you for your legacy. Thank you, everyone, for being here to celebrate with us tonight, and thank you to the Hall of Fame committee members for your work to recognize and honor our outstanding alumni and former staff members. Even though I've seen this induction happen for a few years now, my amazement is renewed every year at the accomplishments and the contributions of the people connected to Burnsville High School. What an inspiration to me, to our community, and especially to our current students and staff members to see these inductees and to learn about them. We talk a lot about, in District 191, about sparking our students' wonder and curiosity about the world and about what would be possible in their futures. I'm not sure there's a better way to do it than just to show them what's possible through the lives of the people on this stage. Whether it's in the arts, entrepreneurship, leadership, education, advocacy, coaching, writing, and so much more, there's an example in for our students as they find their own paths. So thank you. And congratulations on everything you've accomplished, but especially thank you for being that spark for the next generation. With that, congratulations, Hall of Fame class of 2023. Thank you to the members of the Hall of Fame committee, and thank you to all of you for joining us here on this amazing night. Thank you.
Now I would like to ask all the inductees to please remain on the stage for a group photo immediately after the ceremony. So we'll do that. We'll get the whole group together, and then we'll do the team separate so you can have your own special picture. All right? Stand up and be